Hello everyone, I got a lot of interesting news for you. Today, Russia is beginning to realize that they now need to defend and secure the skies over Moscow and other regions where Ukrainian drones are flying. As a result, Russia's Defense Minister Shoigu has given orders for the most powerful manufacturer of air defense systems in Russia to work around the clock in shifts. They made the decision after yesterday's massive drone attack. Unfortunately, this needs to be taken seriously. We're seeing that the Russians have now industrially scaled up production of drones, which they didn't really know how to use for military purposes until the Ukrainian forces demonstrated it to them. Likewise, the production of ammunition is increasing, and the production of air defense systems, which will be deployed across the entire territory, will also be escalated to prevent Ukrainian drones from reaching their targets. Overall, the enemy is strengthening, and they shouldn't be underestimated. This indicates that they are planning for a prolonged war. Meanwhile, despite substantial resistance on the Zaporizhia direction, the Ukrainian forces continue to make advances into the occupied territory. The most challenging battles today are taking place in the Verbove area. There are numerous Russian defensive structures there, and they are deploying a significant number of forces to defend using counterattacks to halt our unit's progress. However, it's reported that the Ukrainian forces have managed to breach the Dragon's Teeth obstacles and are advancing further. According to German military analyst Julian Ropke, the Ukrainian forces encountered a fortification line consisting of concrete Dragon's Teeth obstacles, and on August 30, they successfully broke through this line after approximately a day of fighting. According to him, in the same area, the Ukrainian defense forces advanced 2 kilometers east of the village of Novoprokopivka. There, the Ukrainian forces are gradually advancing as well, with battles taking place in the village today. It's a small village, just a few streets. However, the occupiers are putting up resistance and are attempting to hold their defense. They understand that they need to hold out until autumn, and when the rainy weather begins, there won't be so much support for their equipment, making it harder to maintain their defense. Today, they are throwing all their forces into this direction, hoping that the Ukrainian forces won't be able to break through to operational spaces. Friends, before we continue, I'd like to ask you to share this video on social media and watch it till the end. It will greatly support the growth of my channel. Thank you very much. In the direction of Vuhledar, the occupiers report that the Ukrainian forces are making progress in the Volodino area. Although the Ukrainian side hasn't yet confirmed any actions in this direction, globally, the situation remains unchanged here, and artillery exchanges are taking place. In the Kherson direction, the occupiers openly indicate that their Kherson grouping is very weak in terms of support and command. However, the Ukrainian forces are not rushing to advance and continue to shell the territory with artillery strikes. Yesterday, there were reports of a fire on the left bank of the Dnipro River. Additionally, in Crimea yesterday, there were flyovers in the area of Jankoy, and later in the evening, explosions were heard in Feodosia with accurate hits on target. New detailed satellite images have appeared online showing how the Russians have positioned barges near the Crimean Bridge. Journalists speculate that these barges might be partially submerged. Therefore, the occupiers are likely planning to use them as a foundation for barriers against naval drones. Furthermore, a new wave of attacks on Russian territory began late in the evening, with reports of an explosion in Bryansk. So, in the Kupiansk direction, the occupiers are amassing a significant number of troops and conducting artillery preparation of the area. However, no offensive actions are being carried out as they were previously. So the majority of strikes are now coming from the eastern side of Kupiansk. It's possible that the movement will originate from there. In the area of Swatovo, offensive actions continue towards Novoyegorivka, and the village is heavily shelled. However, as before, the Russians are not achieving any success, and the front line remains unchanged. In the direction of Kremenna and Siversk, the occupiers are advancing towards Bilohorivka, attempting to urgently capture the village to prevent the Ukrainian forces from progressing further towards Kremenna. Since today we observe that the Ukrainian forces have advanced to the city, the occupiers aim to confine our units within the forest. But to achieve this, they need to gain control over Bilohorivka. The Ukrainian forces are successfully holding their defense, and the occupiers are facing another setback. As of now, there have been no new changes along the front line over the past day. In the Bakhmut direction, the situation remains challenging. Unfortunately, the reserves of the Russians are indeed extensive, and they continue to amass forces. As we can see, they periodically launch counterattacks on the liberated territory. Thus, today there are offensive actions towards Bogdanivka, and shelling continues at the frontline settlements. Despite their lack of success, their attacks are preventing further advancements of our units. Further south, a similar situation is observed from Klishchiivka to Azaryanivka. So the occupiers are attempting to push forward here to regain lost positions and prevent the Ukrainian forces from consolidating. However, according to reports from our soldiers, the Ukrainian forces have set a clear objective to completely clear Klishchiivka. For this purpose, additional equipment or units have been deployed to assist. At the moment, exact information is not available, so we are waiting for the Ukrainian forces to reveal the surprise they have prepared for the occupiers. In the Avdiivka direction, the Ukrainian forces are successfully holding their defense. The occupiers around Avdiivka have temporarily halted their attacks and are engaging in shelling only. They were unable to encircle the city, and with another defeat, they have resorted to regrouping. Pushilin had previously set deadlines for capturing the city, but now he doesn't even mention anything, realizing that it is beyond the capabilities of the Russian army. So in Marinka, there are also no successes for the Russians. The front line remains unchanged, despite their considerable shelling and offensive actions. In Novomykhailivka, the occupiers managed to break through to the outskirts of the village, and battles are ongoing there. As of now, there have been no changes along the front line. Moreover, today there is positive news concerning aviation. So it's reported that Zaluzhny had a phone conversation with the Chief of Staff of the Defense of the Kingdom of Denmark. He informed that a portion of our pilots have successfully completed their preparatory stage and are now ready to begin flight training on the F-16 aircraft. Additionally, an agreement has been reached with Danish partners to commence work on logistics to ensure the servicing and repair of F-16 fighters in Ukraine. So meanwhile, the media has showcased the first satellite images of the airfield after the nighttime drone attack on Pskov. I want to highlight that Russian media reported yesterday that 4 Il-76 aircraft were damaged at a military airfield in Pskov due to drone attack. The Planet Labs images reveal damage to at least 2 aircraft. After analyzing the satellite images, aviation expert Anatoly Harpansky confirmed the aircraft damage. In the satellite images, we can see that the surface near the wings is damaged. Most likely, drones attempted to target the fuel tanks located in that part of the aircraft. Nonetheless, this still results in the aircraft being sent for major repairs, which will take at least 2 or 3 months. Additionally, 2 red vehicles resembling firefighting vehicles can be observed near one of the planes, which could have been deployed to extinguish the fire. This type of aircraft is permanently stationed at the Pskov airfield, so the aircraft based at this airfield are used by the 76th Guard Air Assault Division of the Russian Army. So this division, known as the Pskov Division, was among those involved in the capture of Bucha at the beginning of the full-scale invasion. As we can see, the destruction of Russian equipment continues. Meanwhile, Russian political figure Zakharova has started complaining and claimed that without the assistance of American satellites, Ukraine couldn't have carried out such drone attacks.
Знаете, киевский режим с помощью беспилотников атаковал несколько объектов в ряде российских областей. По предварительным данным, в Пскове нападению подвергся военно-гражданский аэродром. В Брянске повреждено административное здание, в Дзержинском районе Калужской области беспилотный летательный аппарат попал в пустой резервуар для хранения нефтепродуктов. Украинские беспилотники были сбиты в Московской, Орловской, Рязанской и Тульской областях. По предварительным данным, в результате этих атак пострадавших, к счастью, нет. Вместе с тем, налет украинских беспилотников на мирные гражданские объекты еще раз подтверждают террористическую сущность киевского режима. Понятно и то, что пролететь такое расстояние без тщательно проработанного с учетом информации именно западных спутников украинские беспилотники просто не смогли бы.
And the Minister of Strategic Industries has already announced that successful deployment of long-range Ukrainian manufactured weaponry, which managed to hit a target 700 kilometers away. So President of Ukraine shared this information in his Telegram. Overall, we are waiting to see how events will continue to unfold. That's all from me. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell to stay updated on all the latest news. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye-bye.